In this video, I'm going to share with you the number one reason why twin flames are still in separation. So stay tuned. Hello, fellow flames. In case we haven't met, my name is Dr. Harmony, and I hope you live fearless, live loved, and live free. Today we're going to talk about the number one reason that I am seeing twin flames to be in separation. And the ones that are actually coming into union, I'm actually working with through the same process of what I want to share with you today of what I'm seeing is their block from coming into full harmonization. So before we jump in, make sure that if you are not already a subscriber or you haven't hit the notification bell to know when my videos come live, make sure to do that now so that you can stay up to date with all of the things I have to share that will help you live fearless, live loved, and live free. So we're going to jump straight in, as I said. So the number one thing and the number one reason why twins are going into separation right now is because you need to stop projecting and start taking personal accountability and responsibility. So what I want to do today is share with you an understanding of what twin flame projection really means, so that way I will also share with you how you can reprogram, reformat that subconsciously suppressed program that you have going on that is causing a story and a memory of all the history of your soul's evolution, and especially in this lifetime with all partners, and including your history of your twin flame. As we move forward and we break down these concepts and redefine relationships, we need to remember we need to also redefine the pattern of how twin flames have interacted. That means you need to stop hanging on to the story that you've had. And that in that story, you have created an illusion. And what that illusion, where that's coming from and why projection is taking place is because you are projecting outward that which is missing in yourself. So you're creating the experiences that you need to bring wholeness and completeness to the missing parts of yourself, the missing aspects. And by you not owning these aspects and all of these parts, you're creating more and more of the pattern that's going to help you come into alignment with you. And the reason why basically you're not acknowledging these things and it's coming from the subconscious program is because it's a range of emotions and also a range of your aspects and who you are and who you've been. And so let's kind of talk about those first. So by not owning all your parts really is saying that you're hiding and you're suppressing emotions that you're not willing to see and that you're not willing to feel because it's too painful. And so in this twin flame journey, it's all occurring with your twin flame to come in to activate you and trigger you in such a way that you can bring to light those suppressed core emotions that are being triggered in your core wounds that your twin flame is triggering. And so just the idea of how that takes place and what is projection, that projection is coming when you displace or you project onto your twin flame your own emotions, your own feelings, your own wounds, your own lack, your own limitations of what it is you are missing. You are projecting subconsciously that twin, or anyone really, because everyone's our mirror, that they are the one that's going to complete you. They are the one that's going to make you whole. And how that happens is through the polarities and the contrast of our emotions from where we're feeling them and then where they're really coming from, and then what it takes to come in on the opposite side to trigger you. And I know that sounds really deep, but I want to I'm going to go through an understanding of that. So you might have to listen to this a couple times. But the key in this is kind of making it a little simpler for a minute, is your twin flame is the reflection of you. And therefore, in that reflection, in them exists what exists in you. And that's both good or bad. So in that polarity of yourself, if you have a suppressed emotion that needs to come to light and be expressed, your twin flame is going to come in and trigger the wounds that's bringing to light that emotion, so that you can basically heal the wound that will help you express yourself and create a wider range of who you are and all your wholeness and completeness of those parts. So you basically stop running from yourself. And in this process, it will also, in addition to triggering suppressed emotions, your twin flame will also then come in to be the reflection and the mirror image of your weaknesses. And it will amplify in such a way that it exaggerates your own weaknesses to help you come into a place of accepting that in yourself and make it a strength within yourself. So what is missing in you, your twin is coming in to fill those parts of what's missing. But for you then to capture those aspects, to own those aspects, to embody those aspects, so you become complete and whole as your own being. So one of the ways that you can heal those core wounds and take responsibility for your own part in this dual dynamic that is putting you into separation is to honor your emotions, to honor the fact that when your twin flame comes in and is triggering you, that you need to look at that and basically be willing to feel the pain that they're triggering in you and realize they're not doing what they're doing to you, but for you. And that wound or that pain is not even them. You're only projecting onto them. They're causing it because you're not taking responsibility. In addition to that, it's important in all of the potential you see in them, all of the things that you see that their greatness is, that's really your weaknesses that you need to come into acceptance of. And being able to own those strengths, to own those weaknesses. So when you do see the good in, say, your twin, because not everybody does, and it's going to depend upon where you are in this range, because it's going to create a combination of triggers for wounds, but it's also going to bring you into a place of unconditional love, that you see all of their good qualities and see how that could align with you and see how that potential could come in together and create this alignment that says power. But the problem is the polarities of the contrast with you and them are not aligning appropriately to within yourself bring out your own strengths, because you're looking to your twin to fill your weaknesses with their strengths. But what you need to be doing is seeing their strengths as your strengths, and then taking your weaknesses and building upon that, and seeing that if you see something good in them, that also exists within yourself, and you need to also own that side of yourself, which stop running from your own light, and to then now become worthy, and you also become good enough. That is another range of what I'm talking about here, to coming into all of your aspects and your hidden parts of you, that you're expanding your range of who you are. And again, you're going to attract the extremities of these polarities, so that these suppressed energies can come up to bring light to feel and expand. But it also, on the flip side of that, it will also trigger your exaggerated opposite end emotions. So if you have, say, this weakness of not feeling worthy or good enough in you, and you're not feeling worthy of the love because you're not receiving it, then it's going to exaggerate that your twin flame is able to give you that if they were to do X, Y, Z, and you're seeing them as being the one that will fit your missing link, that will exaggerate what you're missing so that they can become that and that they fill that role. But the key in this is they're your opposing mirror, and they're reflecting everything that you have suppressed or rejected in yourself. So the goal is to see the reflection that everything that they're doing to you is helping you raise the suppressed emotions and helping you stop rejecting the greatness in yourself on both sides of that, so you can heal this so that the opposite polarities that you're seeing in these things become awakened inside of you, which then says you stop abandoning yourself and you are now standing up, speaking up for you. Because what too many people do in this is they give their power away to their twin flame by seeing the potential and the greatness of who they are, which is only a projection of you seeing their good parts. Some people are only seeing the bad parts. So if you're only seeing the good parts in them, that means that you need to start looking for the good parts in you. But in doing so, you need to raise your vibration and step into your power and say, I deserve them to show up for me. I deserve them to respect me. I have worth. And you doing those things, those are the things they're bringing to you in your aspect, so you can claim that, so that you'll stop attracting what's missing that you are not getting through your projection. On the flip side of that, if you are being triggered into your emotions, and you can have both of these going on, but if, sometimes it's one or the other before you get the balance, since people may be on each end of the spectrum depending upon where you are, and that's why this gets so confusing. But if your twin flames continually triggering you to awaken that pain and creating that rejection, and you are angry with them, and all you can see in them is what they're doing to you, then in that, you need to start seeing what they're doing for you, and also seeing their good side of what they are doing for you, which is the gift in this. And this helps you take personal accountability and responsibility and stop projecting onto them that they're responsible for who you are and your feelings. And this whole process is happening in order to create the pain that, is reminding you of you're rejecting yourself. You're rejecting those aspects of you. And then you're projecting onto your twin to be the one that is going to complete you or make you whole. And you're making them responsible through expectations to fulfill needs that only you can fill. You also got to remember this is happening in the reverse of them too. So in the reverse of that, if you have, say, on these polarities, you're seeing in them what is coming to light for the pain. Most of the time on the other side of that, they're seeing in you what is missing in them, and they are afraid of owning that light as well. So it's happening both ways. And most people come to me and say, do they see this? Do they know this? And I'm just telling you, I work with both sides of this, and I work with the runners and the chasers and the twins together. And we're in a timeline, everybody's seeing. So somebody may have been running before from seeing and not even being consciously aware. The minute you can add the awareness to this, the minute you're taking responsibility, that creates the awareness that you're able to see this. But until you see what I'm saying, that it is your part in this journey, and it is your responsibility, not your twins, to be able to own all of your aspects and all the parts of yourself that you've suppressed through other experiences, only then can they stop triggering the history that caused you to create the suppression to begin with. So just a quick recap so you can really hone in on this. How can you overcome this projection? You create self-awareness. And that self-awareness starts by using your twin flame as your mirror to see in them what you don't want to see in yourself. And in doing so, then you're then taking responsibility that the triggers that they are causing in you, that it's not what they're doing to you, but it's allowing you to see either the greatness in yourself or to stop rejecting yourself and stop disowning the parts of yourself. so that you can come into acceptance or of your aspects, or you can begin to let go of shutting off and suppressing and over exaggerating that. So that way you begin to collect these pieces and you begin to shift from this unconscious awareness to a conscious awareness. And you stop denying them from being your teacher, and therefore you stop separating yourself from them. You stop separating yourself from yourself, and then you stop separating yourself from the awareness that you need to come up to the light of this before you can heal it. And this is why everything's so separate, because you can't see it. And we're talking about this is moving from the unconscious to the conscious awareness that it takes to be able to heal this to begin with, which will then bring you into wholeness that you need, which will then bring you into the oneness and the whole complete person that you are, which will then stop attracting the polarities within your twin flame or anyone to bring it to light. So that's what I'm saying. This is like the ticket right now to ending separation if you are to be in alignment and reunion with your twin. So to bring this full circle, I want to give you an example I share with clients that can really help give you a visual of what this really fully means. And I talk about this as being on two different love channels between you and your twin flame. And typically what that means is the divine feminine will be operating from a place of abandonment and betrayal, and therefore sets up some level of projection that the twin flame is going to fulfill that void, and then there creates a sense of expectation that that twin must comply with. And so this is a vibration too. This is what's happening in the thoughts, feelings, and the actions, but again, it's not conscious. So by sending out that level of expectation in a specific vibration of where you're at on your love channel, you're asking for something. Could be verbally or energetically. Let's say it's verbally in this case. So you're telling your twin what you need, and you think, okay, I'm telling him what I need. He should be able to fulfill that. But the problem is somewhere in the root of you has not healed your abandonment, and that's sending out a signal of I'm not good enough. And so your vibration and these expectations are basically setting your twin flame up to fail, because they don't have the capacity or the capability to fill the role you're projecting onto them. So in that, even if they're present trying to fulfill that role for you, then they consciously, and I've talked to them and I've seen this over and over, they feel no matter what they try to do for you that it's not good enough. And because it's not good enough, it makes them feel like damned if I do and damned if I don't. And this is coming through either like a conscious level if it's being verbalized, or on an energetic level, it's sending the same signals and the same vibration. And so they will either go into that runner mode, or they will continue to try to do what you want until they just get so frustrated that it, like, again, it's damned if I do, damned if I don't. So like you're operating on one love channel saying, I need this. They're trying to give you what you need on another love channel that doesn't match on these love channels. So you don't think you're receiving what you're asking for. They're complying, but they're not on the level to do it because they've been emotionally emasculated by mothers and controlled by the karmic partners for so long, which is changing because they're taking their own personal responsibility now to stand up and say, I'm not going to repeat patterns, so I'm sure as hell not going to do it with you, technically. And that's the truth. And so it's you now taking responsibility for your own vibration. Stop projecting onto them to fulfill a need or an expectation that you think that they need to do for you. You take the responsibility, you see the reflection, you will then stop repeating the pattern that's creating this whole process, and therefore you're healing your wounds and the painful history is starting to subside, and you're standing up, showing up, speaking up now for yourself, creating more self-worth and more self-respect. Because you're going to stop looking at the potential that you have and that they have with you, and start being, if it potential is great, but it doesn't fit who I am or where I'm at now. And if you can't show up where I'm at, say if you're already at the vibration, say you've already gotten to the vibration, it comes down to you choosing yourself and taking that responsibility rather than waiting and thinking that you're going to wait for the twin flame to catch up to you based on the potential. Potential means nothing if it's not in kinetically motion and movement to align with you on that same vibration that you are. And if it's separate on those love channels, you need to either adjust that to let go of your expectation, or you need to choose yourself and move on. And only you can do that. But this becomes a defense mechanism that's projecting that weakness onto them. And basically, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own actions and emotions is what you need to take responsibility for. So today, I invite you to take a self-reflection in this. Take personal responsibility and personal accountability and stop projecting onto your twin flame or others what you're only can find from within through the reflection of why they're showing up. And in that, I invite you also to stop focusing on the problem and recognize that it's you, and then focus on the solution within the problem, that being your awareness, and this whole thing will subside. So instead of seeing in your twin all their flaws, start seeing the greatness and the gift. Instead of focusing on what this is happening to you, start looking at what's happening for you. And you shift this perception, and you will stop creating the projection. And this is going to give you a better chance at coming into reunion with your twin flame, if it's meant to be, okay? And then you're going to start to let your own light shine in the process, so that then that stops seeking the darkness in your twin flame. That is then triggering them to see their light, okay? So, I mean, I could just keep probably going on and on, but I won't. So make sure that you check out all the resources below of how you can go forward with me. Make sure, a really good resource I have is Healing Your Childhood Wounds. That will really help you repattern these things we're talking about. So I'll make sure you have a link below. And make sure you comment, like, share, and I will see you in the next video. May you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.